Alright, so this is going to be a bit of a different video from my normal style of content. It's going to be track rankings, and you may be you may be surprised by my rankings, because if you don't know my personal preferences, I'm going to go into time trauma to show each of the tracks. In last place, in terms of my worst track, I actually have Toad's Factory. And once you watch this Ghost back, you might see why. Yeah, it's not a good track, in my opinion, at all. Darn it, I accidentally clicked solo time trials. But you'll see why it's not a good track, in my opinion. Stompers provide pace locks, which I hate. These boxes provide pace locks, which I still hate. It is really hard to get a perfect line for those conveyors. And then, you need to get a good shortcut here. If you don't, you just fail your run entirely. It basically brings every element of what I think would make a good track, and then just adds way too many pace locks to make it terrible. Now, second to last, this is also going to be a bit, this also might be a bit controversial. I have Sherbet Land. You may have forgotten that this track exists. It's just unforgettable. You may forget that this track exists. And I really hate that almost the entire thing is Type 2 Slippery Road, which in its essentiality is lighter light off-road. Also, I find that shortcut the best shortcut on the track to be way too luck-based. It also is way too chain wheelie based. As you can see, I am not good at chain wheelies at all. Also, I just find it really annoying to get a good line sometimes. Like, look at this. I had to counter drift to adjust my line, which is not good. Just, you sometimes get random bounces for just drifting over something. And then, you still have to make that cut every time. And then, in order to go fast, you have to wheelie turn, which ruins the entire point of going fast in a wheelie. Wheelie turn. Right, on to 30th place. I have DK Mountain. It's just a hassle to drive. And it's extremely RNG dependent. There's also pace locks, but they don't always get in the way of things. As you can see, this Ghost did not get chain drifts that often, or at all. Overall, terrible driving. Then this Aaron line I find a bit, it's inconsistent altogether. Now whether you get there, whether you get a good line there, then whether or not, because of that, if you could even beat that. Now I do double hop cut there into a mini turbo hop. So that's a strat I do. And then that bridge, it's just too bouncy. So now you know the reason that I have DK Mountain low. 29th place. Parkway. not Now, I don't find it necessarily of a bad track, just boring, and the fastest cut is an extreme hassle. So, as you can see here by the driving, this run was recorded in the past. It wasn't my best ever driving on this track, in this game. However, when I try to actually do sorry about that. When I attempt to actually drive on it, I just can't for some reason, because of the Type 1 slippery road, which I find annoying. Now, as you can see here, I took this cut kind of like people took it in 2008, which it means really poorly. Just don't like the track. It's too luck dependent for me, for having literally no trick ramps. So that was... So I did this. 28th place. Daisy Circuit. I find this track a hassle to drive. It's just extremely annoying. The cones will always slow you down and get in your way, whether you want them to or not. Even if you take a wide line to intentionally avoid them, you'll sometimes just go take too wide of a line. And so that cut's luck dependent at times, especially if you're trying to do it shroomless. Now, this can be a bit complicated at times. Now, and because of the inconsistency that I find this track having, I just tend to do old strats. Also, got stuck in the offer there. Just don't have a good time on that track anymore. Now, 27th, not the Special Cup, heading to the Mushroom Cup. Again, this time for Moo Moo Meadows. And this track has some cool tech, but that's about it. Everything else is everything else can pace lock you, or just get in your way. Now, as you can watch this Ghost, as you can see during this era, I finally learned how to delay drift, and do soft and modified drifts for better angles. Now, low trick there is very much dependent on luck. I think I got a slightly lower trick than normal, but not a low trick there. It's just RNG based. And now, as you can see, those cows are going to be a problem on lap 3, which is one of my concerns with the track. Now, here's a concern here. That was a major slowdown, which caused no low trick. Then, because of a freaking wheelie lock, I had to take an absolutely horrid line. Now, as you can see, the cows are in the way of an optimal line here, and they're blocking off certain angles of the cut. Now, because of that, I have to take one line, and okay, I actually get a low trick there. Now, nice counter drift there to finish it off. Now, you can probably guess why I don't like this track. It's the pace locks. And it's pace locks on a simple track at that. which is why I have that as, what was that, 27th? Hold on, I did Toad's Factory, then Sherbetland, DK Mountain, then Daisy Circuit, then this. That was 28th. For 27th, head to Mario Circuit, where you're gonna see something actually cool. Which gives some bonus points, but overall, it's just boring. Boring. And there are some spots which just make you doubt your life choices from even picking this track in the first place. Yep, I do a glitch on lap 1 in my PB. I do a glitch. Now, as you can see, this Ghost takes relatively wide lines because I didn't want to lose the run, which can be an issue with glitch tracks. You take terrible lines just to play it safe and not lose the run. Now, it's just flat tracks from here and chain chomp pace locks. Where luckily I don't get pace lock there, but I take a wide line anyways. Also, there was a severe amount of wheelie turning there. Also, terrible cuts. And I go wide for no reason. Yeah, I just find this track extremely inconsistent. Which is why I have it ranked at 27th. At 26th, I'm actually gonna time trial this one myself because my PB's a glitch one. The reason I don't like Coconut Ball is because of inconsistency and pace locks, as you can probably guess. Though there's not as many pace locks, the pace locks that this has are terrible. Unless you could find a way to get past the cars, the pace locks are absolutely horrid. Also, I forgot to take the cut. Don't worry, I'll do that next lap. Also missed boost panel there. Absolutely horrible driving. The top route, which seems like the most obvious route to take, is extremely slow and can easily put you on a bad line. Also, you have to be fast to avoid those, otherwise pace lock. Now, this cut can also be inconsistent with its exit. Now, I did not hit that wall on purpose, nor that pillar, but you can probably see why I hate this track. Well, it's not necessarily hate, and more like dislike. I prefer not to play it online. Not to mention, aside from a bit, there's no entertaining shortcuts allowed in No Glitch, which puts it lower on my rankings. Which is why I have it at 26. For 25th, we'll have Grumble Volcano, and we'll abide by online rules and not do the Ultra Cup for this. The Raw Cup can be pretty entertaining, but that's not allowed in No Glitch. Aside from that, I find nothing good on this track. Just inconsistency after inconsistency. And the occasional platform pace lock, if it's at the wrong side. Although that will rarely be an issue. Although it almost was here. Now I'm going to go for the Rock Hop, and I fail because I suck at the Rock Hop. Which is partially why, which might be a bit of anger towards track, but also that it's technically not allowed in No Glitch, which is my favorite category type. Now, 25th will be Moonview Highway. Now, you'll just be able to see why. It's the cars. You probably know why. It caused a ton of pace locks and unnecessary pain and suffering just to avoid them, which my ghost manages to do here. It also doesn't delay drift properly there. And as you can see, had to do a lot to avoid the car, and barely avoided that. Also, terrible drop there. Poor driving on my part. I should be better than this. Cool counter drift. Oh, yuck, what is that? A missed boost panel? Yeah, that's gonna contribute to some pace locks. Whether you want them to or not, you're most likely getting pace locked right here if you're on the same pace as my ghost. And as you can see, you have to do a lot to avoid the cars again. Now I dragged the mini turbo out for an extended period of time just to get a good what I find to be a good line. Fun fact, I actually did this run on stream. So, come on. Stop missing boost panels, Ghost! You suck! Yeah, as you can see, these cars are just terrible. They get in your way and do absolutely nothing to help you. '24. We're gonna head to Koopa Cape, where although it can be fun for outward drift momentum strats, those are not faster, and we do not like slow while time trialing. So I'm just gonna show you what I mean, what my current abilities are on this track while cursed to wheel. Well, because I'm cursed to wheel, I fall off instantly, which my ghost doesn't do because it's not cursed to wheel. I can still do that pretty well, but getting a turn afterwards can sometimes be tough. As you can see, I can occasionally actually get the pro strats while time trying this track. Also, the zappers can be quite annoying. Also, I tend to like to do that wall trick just to be annoying, just to make my ghost as annoying as possible, that it doesn't do the mander. But yeah, it's not a fun track to time trial. Is it now? 23rd track, best track, in my opinion. We're heading to Luigi Circuit, where you're gonna watch a ghost. Overall, if you get good at this, I can find it quite consistent. However, the reason I have it ranked the way it is because, oh, come on, I accidentally clicked solo time trials again. The reason I put it so low is because it's boring! Boring, boring, boring. And no matter what, it's still gonna be tough to time trial because it's Luigi's Circuit. You're only getting a good time if you can get chain wheelies. Also, I got a weird pipe clip cut there. As you can see, I'm not the most consistent right now. That dragged out mini turbo's not gonna help. Neither is that absolutely botched cut, which partially due to wheel issues, when I'm more accustomed to using nunchuck, where, well, all my nunchucks are broken, but yeah. Not my favorite track. 22nd, I have Wario's Gold Mine. Reason I tend to like doing the glitch here. However, no glitch driving for me, in my opinion, is awful. Why? It just is. And that's a wrong way drift. Another wrong way drift. These bats are really annoying to get past. Whoa, landed on the rail there. So yeah, the no glitch driving can be annoying, but the glitch is fun at least. However, Grumble Volcano's glitch I no longer find fun. What is it now? 22nd or 21st? Bowser, I think it's 22nd. Bowser's Castle. Now the glitch here, it can be really frustrating to get. And the no glitch driving, it's really inconsistent because of the tech, but that's also what makes it fun to drive. In my opinion, because if you don't get a tech, you feel like you're absolutely garbage. You can't do a single thing correctly, but if you get the tech, you feel on top of the world. Like that hop drift trick there. No. Now, as you can see, I'm good to go for a glitch attempt. With insufficient glitch knowledge, all I really know is the basic alignment for it, which is like this. But yeah, I'm not good at it whatsoever. I should not be attempting the glitch under any circumstances. Yeah, I'm just gonna drive now. Also, this track is not favorable to certain combos, like the spear. And I missed 2 tricks. Oh. So now, on to my 21st best track. This is now closer to the... These tracks are a bit mid. I have GCN Mario Circuit, where you're going to watch the replay of this ghost here. Yeah, it's a bit RNG dependent and there are pace blocks, but aside from that, it's quite fun to drive, in my opinion. Now, as you can see from this ghost here, I was attempting to time travel this. Also, that massive air there was funny, but not always fun. No chain drift, which is unfortunate. Didn't really hinder me in the long term. Interestingly enough, that looked like a chain. Overall, you can make this track more consistent if you have the ability to. However, it's gonna remain inconsistent if you don't. Like how I got less air, but a better cut there. Also, no chain drift, sad. Oh, wheelie turning. Oh god, you suck, Ghost. Just kidding, it was for alignment purposes. double trick is fun. That's basically all I have to say about this track. On to about... Hold on, I think it's about 19th place now. Because I think last one was actually 20th. Delfino Square. We're gonna watch a ghost here to see why I have it as bit average. To chain dependent, as you'll see from this ghost lap one. Also, the bridge can serve as a minor pace lock, which is more favorable than absolutely massive pace locks like those on Toad's Factory. Hey, I'm trying to record a video here.
No. Hey, don't do that.
I'm recording a video. As you can see, I'm trying. This cut I find a little fun, but trying to hit the perfect bridge cycle is not fun. Because I don't know what the perfect bridge cycle is. I'm trying to record a video here! So, now, to my 18th favorite track. Oh, hold on, I'm basically goat now from here, alright? I guess Rainbow Road. These last final 18 tracks I just find better than literally all the others, so, except for DK Summit, which is far better than which I find far better than any other track in the game. Well, potentially except Mushroom Gorge, which I have as second due to just the fun you can have with outward drift experimenting. Now, I'm gonna show you what my ability has been crippled to with Wii Wheel versus what I could do at one point. My fast lap PB does a Jimmy cut. Meanwhile, I'm here. With Wii Wheel, I'm struggling to get it to the double cut. That fourth trick wasn't really worth it. TK7's just a great track. I find most of the tracks within the range of 18th place to 3rd place pretty exchangeable with each other, as they're pretty fun to drive with, and don't have a lot, as they're pretty fun to drive in my opinion. Except for Waluigi Stadium, which I just find all the tech fun. And Mushroom Gorge, which I find both fun to time trial with normally and to experiment on. Yeah, as you can see, this DK Summit driving, not good with Wii Wheel. Oh, missed wheelie! Oh, come on! You suck me. Yeah, as you can see, I'm massively struggling with Wii Wheel. I haven't used this in a while. So, obviously, my driving's a bit shaky at the moment. And by a bit shaky, I mean worse driving than Edmead on lap 3 of Flounderfest against Troy shaky. Wow, neat recovery there. Yeah, not the best. But now you'll see what what I normally do when I'm actually able to do something about my driving. By that I mean actually control it relatively well. This is my current personal best on DK Summit. And as you can see, it's far better than my current driving. No full startup, but that's okay. As you'll see, it's just far better than wheel driving. At least for me. Get 3 tricks there. But I do a hop cut. Now, as you can see, I'm able to get a pretty good run. I was able to get a pretty good run here. However, once I'm able to get a nunchuck, which hopefully by subscribing you'll help me do. But I'll hope to get a run with a Jimmy cut or 2. Now, lap 3, and get drop wheelies every time on that straight, which is unfortunate. Now, this lap 3 is a bit funny, in that my nerves had basically caught up to me by then, and at some point of the track, but I was still able to play through them. Take, for example, this cut was horrid. It's horrid. Had to use a recovery adjustment in order to realign, and then that last trick was awful. But yeah, now I'll show you why I find Mushroom Gorge fun. No, not continuing, sorry about that gaff there. I'll show you why I find Mushroom Gorge fun. And yes, I switched to Shooting Star with this. That's why I find Mushroom Gorge the second best track in the game. I really like the tech-heavy tracks with ton of trickable surfaces and low amounts of pace locks. Now you'll want to look at this run. ODM! In my opinion, one of the most also the mushroom clips are funny. This is the reason why Mushroom Gorge, in my opinion, has the funniest fails. So yeah. Also, if I could get start ODM, that would be something cool. Like, to show it off in this video. Nope. I'm gonna try to get better ODM to show you what I mean by finding this track fun to experiment with. Now, because I'm nowhere near the level of the top Mushroom Gorge players like Flam Bam Bam, I mainly find this as an experimenting track. Also, I missed every single trick there. And there. Oh, come on. That driving sucked, but was fun to do anyways because of outward drift momentum. That's a raw chicken roll, but okay. No OGM here. Off-road equals faster? Mocking that one Flam Bam Bam former world record on this track, where he almost found a Bidoof. Hey, there's Start ODM. Oh boy, that really was Start ODM. And then interesting cookie strat recovery. Not cookie strat, that's for the glitch. What I meant was chicken roll. Boing. Man, outward drift momentum's both fun and funny on this track. One of the main reasons this video is lasting so long. Like, why am I recording this? Like, I find 18 through 3 tracks, 18 through 3 interchangeable. However, DK Summit and Mushroom Gorge are here their own as amazing tracks, in my opinion, for a combination of time trialing, pain, and experimental fun. Meanwhile, this track gives a lot of time trial fun and pain simultaneously, while also being able to give experimenting fun with outward drift momentum's power. Now, Start OGM might be a pain to get, but all the other outward drift momentum is fun, which is why I prefer to tend to do that, just for experimenting. Oh wow, that was a strong chicken roll. Off-road equals faster? Off-road equals faster. Whoops! That was too strong and too weak simultaneously! Which is something that could really funny / annoying that can happen on this track. Depending on how you view it. Hold on, once I edit this video, I might put the highly controversial alert for this video on the very first track ranking, which is Toad's Factory is the worst. Mushroom clips are funny. Whoa! That was almost a full 1-2 ODM strat. Yeah, there's actually names for the different endings for Cave ODM. One of them's the 1-2 ending, the other's the 1-3 ending. And then there's the botched ending, which is 1-2-3. Which is what I tend to do. There's also that, which is another botched ending where you just completely overshoot it. Completely Sorry that Mushroom Gorge ODM strats are just taking up so much of this video. Whoa, that almost was a full-on boost. That was almost full-on boost panel skip. Well, technically it's not a boost panel, but it resembles a boost panel. Wow, that chicken roll was both strong and raw. Oh, that's a botched roll. That was botched ODM. Imagine what this track would be without ODM, though. Like, it's been so groundbreaking that you almost couldn't. But then again, you probably could, because you might have already seen Alperen's former world record. Now, there are some ODM strats on Toad's Factory, but I find them annoying and tough to do. The removal of the crates in Mario Kart World will probably be a good thing in that game, and because in Time Trauma, because it will remove a pace lock. And you know me and how I hate pace locks. Whoa! That was some weird ODM. So Maple Treeway has a small amount of ODM potential. However, it's extremely tough to do. I would not recommend trying it. Wow, that was weird. Anyways, I'm gonna turn this off now. Well, at least the video. Oh, that's...